Lou Orlando, Jack Warner, we are now joined by a legend in women's sports, a five-time member of the U.S. women's national flag football team, two-time gold medalist in tackle football, and a six-time national champion with the Boston Renegades. It's Adrienne Smith. Adrienne, we appreciate you coming over, taking some time.
Thank you so much. I'm ecstatic to be here with you too. I really appreciate it. I'm pumped.
I want to kick off with this. One of the biggest news in sports this year, flag football coming to the Olympics. You are a huge advocate for this.
Yes.
Tell me how excited you are and what can this do for the sport?
This is going to take the sport to an astronomical level. So I was one of, I think there were 11 or 12 of us at the time in 2008. You can think of us as kind of like the founding members of women in flag football. We were selected to the U.S. women's national flag football team in 2008, the first time we had international representation in the sport. And to know that my teammates and I helped lay the foundation for what's happening in 2028 in LA, I'm over the moon. Like it's just it's a dream come true.
I got it. You've played tackle and flag football.
Absolutely.
Tell me about both. What do you like better?
Okay. See, people ask this question, and I'm like, okay, that's like asking
You can like both.
do
like
do I
picking your
do I
kids.
want do I want Snickers or peanut butter cups? Like I can't decide between
That's
those
fair.
two.
Is tackle better when you want to get, some aggression now? Maybe you're a little angry or something.
Absolutely. If someone's like trying to do me over wrong in a business deal, you know what? You better be glad I play tackle football because otherwise I'd be jumping across this table. But in other news, I'm just gonna go score this touchdown. So yeah.
As soon as you got here, we immediately touched on just how busy these couple days have been for you. You know, everything going on. I mean, just this enormous convention center. It seems like New Orleans is completely just flipped for Super Bowl to host this year. But yesterday, you coached at the Native American football game right here in New Orleans. I want you to tell us a little bit about what that event was all about, what it meant to you, and did you coach your team to the dub? Were you on the right side of history in that one?
Did I coach to yeah, of
Sorry,
course.
I'm sorry if I underestimated you.
Winners win. Okay. I have 8 championship rings for a reason.
No, you're right.
So yesterday I was fortunate enough to participate in the Native Youth Foundation's first annual flag football game for girls. So it was teen girls, high school girls. I coached the girls. We won 23-7. Okay.
Dang.
And it's really important to me. So I'm of Native American descent, and I've been involved with Native Youth Foundation for over like a year and a half now. And they're really a wonderful nonprofit that's just helping girls and boys have opportunities to experience new things like play flag football, travel to New Orleans from California, from the reservation in California. And it's absolutely great. It means a lot to me. And the girls were so receptive, and we had some ballers out there. We did.
When you look at where women's sports was and the opportunities for young women when you first broke in, as opposed to now in football, in all sports, obviously it's very different. Talk about that contrast and where can it get to? Obviously, there's a lot more people want to achieve.
It's night and day. So, for instance, I play for the Boston Renegades. We're in the WFA, the Women's Football Alliance. And for the past 4 years, our championship, the WFA championship game, has been broadcast live on ESPN. That never happened before. We were still out here in the trenches, blocking, tackling, scoring touchdowns, etc., RPOs, all of that. But no one saw it because there were no eyeballs there.
Right.
But for a company, as wonderful as ESPN to give us a platform so that people can see, and now it's like, oh my gosh, who's this QB? Who's this linebacker? Like, there's real talent there. It's just a matter of exposure.
What do you think was the turning point for that exposure and getting some attention on these young women?
It was perseverance. It was leaders in women's football knocking on doors, constantly getting meetings, having meetings, pitching to the point where it's finally like you almost have to wear people down. It's like, okay, you know what? Let's give it a shot. And then lo and behold, you give it a shot. You give someone like a new flavor of ice cream and they're like, oh, this is delicious.
You talk about the exposure and the importance of exposure. I feel like over the last few years, and it is a bit frustrating that it's taken this long, that it's taken until so recent, but it is amazing that there's been almost a renaissance in women's sports, the profitability, the marketing, the primetime television slots. And you've seen it a lot in the sport of basketball, especially. You've seen it with the WNBA, college women's basketball. You've even seen now the PWHL over in hockey, brand new, already kicking, playing in NHL arenas, selling out NHL arenas. The NWSL and soccer. Those are the ones that I think are most often talked about, especially with the success of the women's national team in soccer and such. With football, though, what do you think it's going to take for, the women involved and the women that play football to perhaps get that exposure to where it's right there neck and neck with the basketballs, with the hockey, with the soccer?
Jack, great question. And I'm telling you, it's already happening. We have all the ingredients now. All that's left to do is to cook. So for instance, if you're talking about the WNBA, NWSL, PWHL, they had collegiate programs. You could play the sport in college.
Yeah.
Also, you could become an Olympian in the sport. So now we've got the NAIA. I think we're in year 4 where they're offering college scholarships for women to play flag football.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes. Now we have flag football has become an Olympic sport in 2028. So you have those two elements that provide a destination for little girls to aspire to. Oh my gosh, I can win a gold medal for my country, for USA in flag football. Oh my gosh, I can get money to go study in college by playing flag football. You have those two elements there. You naturally create a pipeline where girls are like, let me get into this lane because I can see where the destination is.
Jack just talked about all these different leagues are blossoming. When you're not playing football, are you dialed into some of these other non-football leagues? We're both big PWHL fans.
Okay, yeah. So shout out to the Boston Fleet. Shout out to all the, New York teams represent New York teams as well. So yes, like right now, I'm just absolutely enthralled with Unrivaled, the 3-on-3 women's.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Like I'm trying to get down to Miami. I want to get out there. I want to experience that. So yes, when I'm not in football, when I'm not in season, I'm checking out all the other sports.
What have you just made of like the Super Bowl festivities? Like being here for the Super Bowl, it's one of the most massive events. I underestimate, any American watches the Super Bowl, has a party, does what they have to do, it always has their fun in different ways. But like, I don't think anything could have prepared me for how massive, this city, buildings with ads the size of the building completely down the sides. We're in this massive convention center. You're going from table to table doing interviews, meeting all sorts of people. What has this experience been like?
It is a dream come true. Like I love football. The Super Bowl, the week of the Super Bowl, this is football Mecca. Earlier today, I'm just walking by. There goes Joe Montana.
It's insane.
Out. I'm just like, what? Donovan McNabb was down here yesterday evening. There goes Shannon Sharp. I'm just like,
I saw him. I was very starstruck when I saw him yesterday. I'm a big Club Shay Shay fan.
Okay, you know what I mean? And I'm over here trying not to fangirl, be professional, Adrienne, act like you've been here before. And I have been here before, but it's like Disney World. It's Disney World for football lovers.
We got to plug Blitz Champs. Blitz Champs with the
Yes.
I say all 6 of us were big card people. We got to our Airbnb. We decided where people were sleeping by playing cards. So we have a football card game, brand new football card game. You got to tell us about it. We might have to buy it on the spot.
I think, okay, so I love football, right? I developed Blitz Champs. It's an amazing football card game. I created it in 2015. It's super easy to learn how to play. Think of it as the football version of Uno, and that it's easy to learn, but it's hard to master. So you can have elements
of my favorite games,
right? Of like spades, a little poker in there as well. The goal of Blitz Champs is to be the first person to score 21 or more points.
Nice.
Green cards are your offensive cards. That's what you use to score points. Red cards are your defensive cards. That's what you use to remove points from your opponents. And yellow cards keep the game in motion. And again, the first to score 21 or more points wins the game.
Now I see you got the team logos, and even when you walked over here, had the clear backpack. I saw right away. Saw the Detroit Lions one right there, front and center.
Should I ask, are there any Giants ones?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. So I have a licensing deal with the NFL. We have all 32 teams available. Yes, you can get them from Amazon, blitzchamps.com. We're in Walmart stores nationwide, Barnes and Noble stores nationwide, wherever you want to go.
What was that process like getting the licensing deal done with the NFL? Because we're just walking around, we're just feeling how it's just this massive corporation. It just feels like they're this big. Feels like they could be their own country if they wanted to.
They absolutely could, right? GDP would be off the charts. Yeah, it took years.
Wow. I could imagine.
Years knocking on doors, presenting the game, explaining how it could be useful to the NFL in terms of teaching the game of football to kids, bringing girls into football. It took a while to do that. So, but the NFL's been great. They saw the promise of Blitz Champs. I've got the licensing deal, and we've been doing well. It's been pretty good.
Adrienne Smith, a legend in women's sports, an 8-time champion. Is there anything else you want to plug while we got you here?
I just want to thank you too for this amazing interview. Yes, I have one thing. I have a new. Here's the scoop. Okay, so I am launching the Blitz Champs Math League, at the end of this month, beginning of March. Okay, you know about scripts, spelling bee, national spelling bee,
Yeah.
et cetera. Well, reading is fundamental. Well, I like to say math is paramount.
Mhm.
Okay, and we could do better as a country in mathematics. So the Blitz Champs Math League, if teachers, parents, principals go to blitzchamps.com, blitzchampz.com, go to the contact us page. We'll send you more information, but it'll be a way for elementary and middle schools to sign up. They'll use the Blitz Champs card game, which is a math learning tool, to increase confidence and mathematical skills in their students.
That's amazing.
You
Pretty
heard it
pumped.
from her. Adrienne Smith. We'll be back in a moment. Thanks for the time.
Thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us.
Thank you both.